Hey guys, welcome to the Crossroads Podcast. It is Jonathan Jenkins here, and
Iain Tucker, back at it again.
For another week, another blessed week.
Heck yeah, very blessed week. Very, very, very cool week. Very weird week for me, at least. Weird week. But I think everyone needs a weird week now and then.
More so on the stressful side, but...
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Well, today, as you just jump into it, Let's just jump into it. Today we're going to be talking about second chances. That's our topic. Second chances.
Exactly.
Alright.
I think it's a very good lesson.
I think so, yeah.
You see, since we have a lot of phones now, we got social media, Instagram, Twitter, especially Twitter.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people give their opinion. We talked about this last week. Free speech, giving your opinion, being able to vocalize that opinion, being able to do it without censorship.
Yep.
So now it's gotten to the point where somebody does something totally wrong. We understand it's wrong, but some people preach free speech to a certain point. They don't follow up on what they were talking about, and then they just completely forget that they were pushing for second chances, pushing, and now it's like he doesn't deserve it or she doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like...
So you think it's a lack of, forgiveness and grace in the culture right now? Like...
Oh yeah, there's no sympathy at all.
No.
No matter what has been done. Yeah, there's been a lot of wrong done. But
for sure.
Everybody's not perfect.
No.
And you can't... Limiting that person's chance to make another name for himself or undo what he did wrong is just kind of childish. But
yeah, I think
children don't forgive, but they forgive better than most adults do.
Children, they. I haven't met one kid that I'm like, that's a decent human being. They can hold grudges,
but they're more sympathetic than more adults are.
I guess true.
Some adults are.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I think, especially just watching today's culture and how we participate with each other, right? So we're all, I feel like a huge thing is we're always looking at someone else and saying how someone else could be better and how we really put the emphasis on other people when really the emphasis needs to be on ourselves. And then through that you can really see like, oh my gosh, we're not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes, a lot of times. And, that's where second chances, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances, sixth chances, like, those are where that comes in because you realize, like, oh, no one's perfect. I'm sure as heck not perfect,
not by a long shot.
And
everybody has a closet. Everybody got a door in their life, multiple doors.
Yeah.
Some people, they don't give it up. Other people, it's easier for them to give it up because they know if they give up those doors, they have nothing to hide.
Yeah. I've been, talking with this guy who I think we need to bring on the show one time. His name's Jamie Bush, right? I'm doing editing videos for him. And the ministry's called Burning Bush Ministries. And he's starting it, very, very soon. We'll start putting content out soon for him. And, but he was addicted to cocaine for like 40 years, right? And so, he got saved and still had a cocaine problem, but he was married and was popping pills at the time, and I mean, he talked about how forgiveness and grace was really the only way he got out of his addiction was because he got a third, fourth, fifth chance from God, and that was the only way he really got out of his addiction because he knew he was forgiven, he knew he had grace. Yeah, it wasn't like a light switch like flipped overnight, and he was like, not doing cocaine or popping pills anymore. He was like, I realized like I so screwed up, and he's like, I needed just step by step to work out of it, and he got multiple chances, but now he's opening up a ministry and he's been clean for like 8 years.
Hey.
And
right.
So I think second chances are very important. Now, do you think there's ever a point where like the chances are cut off?
Absolutely, because you can only give some. But for me, I'm different though. It's like if you like I ain't never been hurt to the point where I'm just like I'm cutting you off completely.
Yeah.
But I'm also the dude that's like, I love you, but I'm cutting you off regardless because you're not helping me grow.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, I mean, you got people just going to cut you off if you mess up once. And they will not give you another chance at all. I'm not that type of guy. I'm going to give you first, second, third chance. That third chance is basically 3 strikes and you're out. But obviously, there should be more chances given because it's not. We have to realize that a lot of the choices people make is because of their level of maturity and growth.
Yeah.
Like, we're mature enough to know that if I mess up, you have to know that, okay, something might be going wrong.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, I'm mad at you now, but it's kind of like, let's fix this face to face and get this out the way, solve this problem. That way we can move forward and progress.
Yeah.
Rather, you have some people who are just like, F you, you're this, you're that, you ain't nothing, you're never going to be nothing. Yeah. It's like, that's just making it worse. That's just adding fuel to the fire. And it's like, what good are you helping him with? He's just going to go do the same thing, you being negative, but also being positive, he could go do the same. So there's no really win-win, but it's about the level of maturity you have and growth.
And it's also like, you can, like, with the whole, like, you can only have so many chances. Like, I come from a family of 2 divorces. Like, divorce is pretty prevalent in my family. And like my aunt, her husband cheated on her, and so there is, like, you know, the huge deal for this with, like, a whole second chances and stuff like that. And my aunt has completely forgiven her husband and the person she cheated on and stuff like that, but she's like, I won't trust them like I did. And I think that's a big thing. She won't
let it happen again, but she forgives them for it.
And trust comes, she always tells me trust comes in increments. So, like, with, you know, you can have all the chances you want, but that doesn't mean I have to trust you, right? So, like, with that situation, it's like that my aunt will never trust her ex-husband ever like she did because of what he's done, and he continues to show himself as untrustworthy. But if he were to, over time, show himself as trustworthy, you know, step by step, that trust would rebuild. Not that they'd get married. Oh, no. Again, no. But that he would become more of a trustworthy person and a man of his word. But with the whole second chances, I feel like it's about leaving the door unlocked, but being like, hey, I gotta close this door. You're welcome to make steps towards the door and open it.
You have to make that step.
But yeah, I'm not going to pull you in.
It's like, I'm already grown. Like, we're grown now.
Exactly.
Like, I'm to a certain point where, I don't like saying this, but it's like, I don't need you. But at the same time, you have to realize that you're affecting everyone around you with the negativity that you're bringing if you don't grow and mature to a certain level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, it might take you a long time to get there, but as long as you're taking those necessary steps, it's very important.
I feel like life is about steps, right?
Right.
Like,
it's a ladder.
Yeah. You climb. You're either climbing up or down, right? And, you know, if you slip up and fall down the ladder and stuff, like, just keep climb back up. But yeah, with the deal of second chances and stuff, like, everyone needs grace, and I think that's what, you know, Jesus came here to show, is like everyone needs grace. Everyone. And what is it, like 70? He's like, how many times should we forgive them? Like 7 times? He's like 7 times 70.
Oh yeah, I remember the verse too. Actually,
I read that the other day. I was like,
I got the verse right here.
I got him.
I got it. So basically, Matthew 18:21-22. It's the story of Peter when he was trying to forgive his brother. I'm assuming his brother. You know, but it just says, then Peter came and said unto him, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Until 7 times. And then Jesus responded, I don't tell you until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. So he's basically saying times infinity times.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do that. It's hard to give somebody infinite amount of chances.
Yeah.
Which is what we're supposed to do. I would do it in a heartbeat, but it's not that easy.
Yeah,
because it depends on how bad you were hurt and how much it affected you and then the other person as well.
I think trust and chances are 2 different things, though. I guess you could think of it this way. if you're at a carnival, right, and you go out to the baseball game when you try to throw it and hit like a bottle of or whatever it is, right? You go to a carnival game and they'll give you multiple chances, right?
Yeah.
They don't have to trust that you're going to hit it. They're just giving you the opportunity. So
most people, that's perfect.
Yeah, see,
because it's like opportunity.
I'm not going to lay money that you're going to hit it, but I'm going to give you the chance to.
Right. Like, everybody has a shot to go get $1 million.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, are you willing to take the opportunity that's given to you, or are you going to complain about the situation you're dealt?
You know, I heard something great by a guy named Greg Gutfeld. He's on Fox News. But he was like, if you devote 10 years to something, to one thing, 10 years, you will become wealthy. 10 years, and you devote yourself primarily to that one thing, you will become wealthy. And I find that true. 10 years is a long time if you think about it.
Yeah,
but it's also a short amount of time.
Because the amount of work you put in, you don't realize how much time you're wasting.
Exactly.
It's not wasted time, but it's like time flies when you're working.
One thing. You put in 10 years to one thing. And you think about it. Like the average lifespan, do we have
70 years.
Is it 70 years? Okay. So say you start your adult life in your 20s, right? That's about, depending on how well you take care of yourself, you've got 5 different things. 5 different segments of life. So if you start in your 20s, and you devote yourself to 10 years to one thing, become super successful at that. Well, now you've got the revenue to start something new.
Now you're free. You're financially free at 30.
Exactly.
Now your whole 30s is more learning and then applying what you already know.
Exactly. And you can build on that wealth and that knowledge and stuff like that. But every 10 years, you've got 5 decades to...
Right. And now you're 40. You got the knowledge. You got the money. You got the wealth. You got children, hopefully, at that point.
Yeah.
You have a very good family. And now it's just like... You can still learn.
Yeah.
Now go learn another. Go learn how to do real estate. Go learn how to. You already know how to. You should know how to invest it by that point. So go invest more money into a mutual fund or.
Yeah, and I think when we think second chances, we primarily think like the relationship between people, right? So we think second chances if someone screws up. Well, second chances can also be. It's getting back up. So even in business or in anything you want to do, it's like, oh man, I screwed up. But you know what? I'm gonna give myself another chance. Give myself another chance. It's about not shutting down the opportunity for yourself to fail or succeed. Right? If you're at the ball thing and at the carnival and you say you're done, there's a zero zero probability you're gonna hit it because you quit. Right? But as long as you keep throwing those balls and you get that chance, you give yourself a chance every time to hit that. You're at least you have some chance because you're trying.
Right.
But as the moment you quit, you're done.
Because you have to have self-awareness for yourself to give yourself a second chance.
Exactly.
Most people are not going to give you that second chance just because there's a stigma in society where it's like you screw up, you don't deserve that second chance, even though that's your first time doing it. And
it sucks to fail. It hurts to fail.
And there's numerous examples. I can give you NFL players that have gone through domestic violence, which is not right at all. It's not.
Yeah.
Just as a man, you have no right. I don't care how right you are, how wrong you are to put your hands on one.
Yeah.
But at the other side of things, people have done way worse.
Yeah.
But lose their professional occupation for doing that.
Yeah.
It's not discrediting domestic violence.
No.
But at the same time, you're the same one preaching about second chances, but when that one thing happens, you stray away from it.
Yeah.
Perfect example. 2 examples that I can think off the top of my head, both a couple years apart. Ray Rice. He hasn't gotten an opportunity to come back once playing in the NFL. He got his second chance, though, with his wife. That was a whole bad situation.
I think, though, also consequences. As much as second chances are awesome, the world does have consequences.
Oh,
and you
yeah,
absolutely have consequences for your actions and such. And it's not like you make a decision, there's going to be no consequences.
Oh, yeah.
Surely there is.
Absolutely, absolutely. But after those consequences, it's like people act like they haven't learned. So it's like you just took everything away from the man. It's like, I don't think he's grown. It's like, how do you know? It's like, you don't make that assumption and sit there and say that you don't know the man himself.
Yeah.
You can believe what you want to believe, but only he knows. And only the people in his circle knows. So how are you going to go out of pocket and state something that doesn't apply to you necessarily?
True.
It only applies to the victim and the person that caused the problem. Those are the only two people that need to talk it out. Those are the only two people that need to grow and move on from the situation. He needs to grow up, which he has grown up from that time, which happened to be his now wife. So now it's just more of, don't sit there and say it was disingenuous or nothing like that. Listen to what he has to say. And then if you come out saying that and believing that, that's you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, where do we draw the line? And then now you got the Kareem Hunt situation. That was really wrong.
I haven't heard about this situation.
No, like, it was back last February.
Okay.
When he was in, I forgot where he was at, but the video surfaced him pushing a young lady. He kicked her. Not like full-fledged kick, but it was just kind of like a little.
What was the situation?
Drinking probably involved. Like I don't know what she was there for, but it shouldn't have been like his friends should have been. That's another thing. Like if you're surrounded by your friends should know better, and then you're at that level of notoriety. Like your friends should know, tackle you, knock you out, do something. Stay away from that.
So you gotta choose your friends, right?
Right.
You gotta choose friends.
Which they were trying to do that, but he was just in a moment of rage. Because football players, most of them come from the hood. How they're raised, anybody can get it. And then when that rage hit, you don't think.
Well, I was also listening.
All that cognitive ability go away.
I was also listening to this podcast, ironically, this morning. It was about, they were talking about, how a football player like went crazy and like blacked out. That's the claim they made in court, and like killed his mom.
See, that's a whole different situation.
Well, exactly, and like, do you think the combined, especially with NFL players, the combined head trauma,
which has been accumulated from a little league, middle school, high school, college, pro.
Plus how they were raised and just do you think that all accumulates into like erratic, violent behavior?
Absolutely, because you got people that are raised to not disrespect women, but you do me wrong or you do something, you will get it.
Yeah,
just because that's the environment they come from. Some people is like, I don't care if you're a woman, I don't care if you're a dude, you are going to get murked.
Yeah, which
which is sad.
Isn't right?
It's not right.
But it's.
Well, I wasn't raised like that.
Exactly, me neither.
But that's just
it's a sad truth.
It's how and that's another thing. You have to understand the environment you come from. I don't care how you feel right now. You're not in that situation, so you can't really say, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. How do you know?
Yeah. You really don't.
Because if you're sheltered and in a certain environment, rather than you're not sheltered and you're exposed to all this stuff over here, you're going to react differently. Way differently. If you grow up in the hood, where there's drugs, gangs, violence, death, guns, all that, from the time you're 3 up until you're 18, what do you think's going to happen? You're going to carry a gun. You're going to be very defensive. You don't care who it is. Something's going to happen eventually. And then on the other side, the same thing can happen, but at the same time, it's just kind of like,
Right. So with these second chances we're talking about, the consequences still are going to come.
Oh, absolutely. They should come. Just because...
Exactly. So
lay of the land.
Back to the ballpark analogy, or the carnival analogy. I guess the consequences of missing or of failing would be every time you put $1 to get another chance.
Yep.
Right. So it's a consequence of missing because you're down one. You got to put down another $1 to get more chances. Right. So I guess the $1 could represent consequences and energy spent
and investing in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So the $1 could represent like a bunch of different things, because the consequence of missing would be, now I have to, there's the potential I have to lay down another $1. And so, you may work hard and work a ton and a ton and a ton and invest a ton of energy, but the payoff in the end, of what you're getting depending on what you're throwing for, right? Let's say it was like that huge bear you wanted, right?
Yeah.
This is a weird example, but I mean,
It's a valid example, though.
Represents like your hopes and your dreams that you've wished for since you were a kid, or that business you want to be successful, or a relationship,
or the sport.
Yeah,
or the rap, or the music, or whatever you want to do.
Exactly, and it's your goals that you've wanted to obtain, and you're gonna spend a lot of energy, and you're spending a lot of time and consequences of trying to get that goal, but in the end, like once you get that bear and stuff, like all that goes away. You're like, it was worth it. Mm-hmm. Like,
but then in that moment of gratification, there comes another moment of I want more.
Yeah,
just because it's satisfying.
Exactly, and I think that'd be another podcast is talking about contentment
and complacency, the difference between the two,
and being content with what you have and such, which would be an interesting. I mean, I don't think for this episode, but in a different episode, we could both do more research and really think about what is enough and being content with what you have. But as for second chances and stuff, like it's really about giving yourself, I feel like, mainly is trying till you get it right.
Yeah.
Giving yourself the opportunity. And you're actually trying, because some people try. Like, I'm guilty in my life of saying that I was trying to do something, but really I wasn't.
Right.
I was going through the motions. I'd pick up the ball and just kind of like, And I wasn't really trying, right? So I invested a lot of time, energy, emotions, and consequences in something I really wasn't trying to do. But once you really start throwing that ball and trying to get accurate, you're going to hit it eventually. But you've really got to try.
Absolutely. It's like for you in music, acting, that entertainment side of things, which is, of course, it's still entertainment. But like football, dang, I'm hungry. But, like,
I said there were some eggs downstairs.
But no, but like with football though, but it's kind of like majority of us, we spend from 4 or 7 till we're adults playing a game that we've loved since we were little. You've been doing this for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, you can't get good just not doing anything.
Yeah.
So with the second chances, it's like you have to invest in yourself to give yourself second chances. You have to invest in yourself to wake up early every day, to go through the same workouts, to go through the same thing, to do the same thing, to get good at what you do.
Yeah.
We have to do the same. It's the same process. You have to do everything over and over again to become great at what you do.
Yeah.
Even good, you can't just be good and just be like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some people can, but I mean, it's just like, you gotta work. You gotta work.
Yeah.
You gotta work to be good. You gotta work to be great. You don't have to work to be average. You don't have to work to be bad.
No.
Like, you can just do what average people do, and you're just like, I'm just here.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Totally. Like, and it goes back to the whole.
But that's a whole nother. It still applies, but that's a whole nother like conversation
Absolutely.
we can have. But it's like,
chances are great, but there also has to be like a time you come into your life where you're like, all right, I've been making the same choices for years.
So the same thing keeps happening, but the results don't change.
Been making the same choice for years. I'm not doing anything. People have given me multiple chances. When am I going to give myself the chance?
Because nobody else is going to give you the opportunity.
To strive for something greater.
Exactly.
And I'm guilty.
Everybody
definitely guilty of that.
I'm currently now. I'm not going to go into details about what it is, but I keep telling myself stop. But it's like, it's just eye candy. So I'm just like,
yeah. No, I get you.
Like, and then the funny thing is, like, about second chances. I keep telling myself one thing, I don't act on it. It pisses me off so bad. Like, internally, it pisses me off. But outwardly, I'm just like, oh, well, I'll get it tomorrow. Which I hate that internally so bad, just because it's like tomorrow is not promised. I don't want to regret anything.
No. Anything
can happen. We can die tomorrow and not fulfill anything that we have with our life. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not satisfied with that. There's, like we said, contentment and complacency. Contentment is being content with the state you are in.
Yeah.
And being happy.
And I think that's what...
And giving praise to God for every day that you're blessed with.
And yeah, and being content doesn't mean you should stop wanting more.
Right.
Because I really feel it's human desire. It's
Absolutely.
how we are engineered to want something better than we have. And that's not an evil desire.
No.
I mean, you want to get better. You want to always keep stepping up. That's how we're made.
Absolutely.
It becomes the guiltiness of it, the immorality of desiring more is when it becomes the only thing you want in life.
When it becomes your God,
Exactly.
that's when it starts to hurt.
And that's what you focus on, is always getting more and getting better and being better. Well, there has to be a time where you have to be content with what you have.
Right.
Still have the desire to have more, but have it in a healthy way, to where
Right.
it's like, if I didn't get this, I would be happy.
Right, and then we can look at it like this. So, like you said, we'll talk about this probably our next podcast, maybe another one.
Yeah.
But I think the difference between contentment and complacency. Complacency is where you just say, I don't want anything more. Like this, I'm satisfied with this. I don't want to do this. I'm comfortable with what I have.
Yeah.
That's I cringe at that, but if that's how people feel, that's how people feel.
Yeah.
But on the other side, contentment is being appreciative and thankful for this current state you're in. Not saying that you don't go get better or improve. It's saying I'm happy with what I have, and I am blessed with what I have. And I have to appreciate this moment.
Yeah.
Rather than, because we get so worked up in work, we get so worked up in the job. Take a step back and really just have a couple minutes, 30 minutes to yourself.
Yep.
Sit and reflect. That's content.
Yeah.
You can really look back and be like, dang, I've come a long way.
Yeah.
I can still improve, but I came a long way.
Yeah.
Rather than complacent. This is like, I'm satisfied with this.
Yeah.
And that's how some people really are, but at the same time, you got me personally, I'm just like, man, I can always improve. I will never stop learning.
Sure.
I will never stop growing.
Like I said, it's
Ever.
giving yourself the chance to always improve, and you're gonna in improvement, right? Like, this is, whatever you believe, even in survival of the fittest, right? You've got to continually get stronger to last. And so, but in becoming stronger, the parts of you that are weak are gonna die off.
Right.
And you have to be okay. You have to be okay with some of you, quote unquote, dying off.
You have to die. As the Bible says, you got to die to self.
Exactly. And so, what does that mean, though, to you? Every
negative aspect, which you may not realize now.
Yeah.
Not saying us particular, but I'm just saying in the general aspect. Like, if you're addicted to a certain drug, addicted to alcohol, you're having any type of problem, like anything that's internalized that you really don't want anybody to know.
Yeah.
Like, it's you coming to a point where it's like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I know you. It comes to a point where you know what's holding you back. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Now you just got to release everything and just say, I'm done.
Yeah. And the denying of self. It's a scary thing, because
you don't want to say no to yourself.
Exactly, and human desire, how we are engineered physically, is the body is it's a system. The body wants what feels good, right? So
it responds to stimuli.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you have to be okay with being like, okay, there's a greater being in me. I'm doing that right now with something health-wise, right? So, like, with the job I'm working, there's tons of, like, sugar around and, like, stuff like that. I'm noticing myself falling into these patterns of eating more sugar. And I'm really, like, is this good for me, right? It tastes good, feels good, and stuff like that. But is this
really going to be sustainable for me?
Exactly. And when I'm looking forward in my future and stuff, and is this diet going to be something that's self-sustaining? Or do I need to prepare? And I really feel like it's preparing to, and putting yourself in a position to necessarily die to self, right? So, with this diet thing, for an example, like, instead of, like, telling the body, no, you can't have anything, Well, that's like creating a vacuum, right?
Right.
So now there's emptiness, so it's going to be filled with something.
Right.
And it's going to be filled with something either more potentially dangerous for your body or something greater.
Right.
So what I've been learning how to do is, okay, I've got work. I know I'm going to be hungry. I know I'm going to want something to snack on. What is something I can eat as an alternative or drink as an alternative
Water.
than to a slushie
Right.
or hot Cheetos popcorn, which is amazing, by the way.
Just bring a gallon, for me,
Water,
gallon of water. Like,
or and if I made myself a PB&J, 2 of them last time, and that quenched that desire to have like what I wanted.
Right. Or chewing gum, brushing your teeth, which at your job you're not just gonna brush your teeth.
Yeah, no, but like giving something, replacing something that is necessary, that is harmful with something that is good for you, because you can't have a vacuum in your life to where it's just empty. You've got to fill it with something, and whether that's, something I'm bad about is just letting my mind wander and stuff like that. Well, you can't necessarily, right, just stop thinking. Like when someone says stop thinking of that, right, then you're primarily focused on not thinking of that.
You can't. Well,
you've got to replace.
You can't say stop thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for years.
Exactly. So you're gonna have to replace that, let's say, quote unquote, this sounds like elementary, bad thought with something good.
Right.
And the Bible talks about that is always, if you take, replace, right? And that's the same with anything. Like if you take something, replace it. I'm not saying go rob a bank. That's not what I'm saying. If you take something, you just want to make sure there's a vacuum. Yeah, internally. If you take something, replace it. There's no way you're going to be able to just be a blank slate.
Right.
Yeah, that's not human nature. Human nature is constantly creating. That's why we're thinking of something. That's why we're made in the image of God, right? So that means, to me, we're able to think of the universe. We're able to think of, laws and have a constant creative process with how we see the world, how we understand the world. So that relates back to our minds are constantly going and going and going, and we're going to have to transition our minds from physical and evolutionary circumstance to our spiritual well-being, right? And so and fighting back those internal fleshly desires and flip them into something, and giving yourself the chance to make mistakes, but also really try and flipping your mind, because the mind really is, you control the head, you control the beast, right? You think of a horse, you put the bits in its mouth, you control its head, you're going to control where it goes. Yeah,
work.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same. Yeah, so it's really, the head is the game changer of anything. So you got to let me get my mind right.
Yeah,
is that a Logic song?
I love it.
Let me get my mind.
I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, me too.
But I know exactly what song it is.
Is it on the Bobby Tarantino project?
I think so.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, so it's giving yourself the chance to really be better.
Absolutely.
It's going to take time.
It's a process.
But as long as you're taking steps.
Right, as long as you're taking steps to get to your end goal. You start with the end in mind, and now you go back and then the process.
Yeah. But you got to take steps.
Absolutely.
Just one step at a time, man.
And it may seem like we're getting off track, but I think all of this still applies to second chance, because everybody falls into the trap of lust, greed, all those things, and all those things can have those stones that we get hit with that make us regress or not progress forward, and it's kind of like, dang, how do I come back from this?
Yeah, no.
And that's where we started at the beginning, kind of saying like we have to give ourselves the second chance, because the world probably not going to give it to us after the first time messing up. So we have to constantly give ourselves second chances that build us up or change us, not into a whole different person, because, I mean, we're not completely different people, but your old self.
Yeah.
It's a level of growth where it's like, I don't know that dude anymore.
Yeah. And it's steps.
And it's steps, because, I mean, for us, like, still, man, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because there are certain things in my closet I don't want to let go. I don't know why.
Well,
I don't like
it's the same for me.
Right. It's like, why is it so hard to let go? Like, I know, like it's so appealing.
Yeah.
Like it is. Like you just don't. It's like you don't want to let go. You're holding on. It's like just let go.
It's fear of for me, because I've been doing a lot of thinking about it, is fear of
missing out
and being better. Like, really, it comes down to, like, you know, it comes down to a pride thing, that you think you know what makes you happiest.
Exactly.
And you really believe, like, we're taught that you know yourself better than anyone else knows you. That's not necessarily true. Because what we may think is great for us, there's something inside that we don't always listen to it, but something inside, conscious, God, God gave us a conscience that tells us this isn't right. And so,
which is also deemed as the Holy Spirit.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And the Holy Spirit really, it directs the conscience. Right. It tells the conscience what is right and what is wrong. Mm-hmm. And so the conscience, it's important to listen to, but we're always told, you know yourself better than anyone else knows you. I made some pretty stupid decisions in my life based on what I thought I knew what was best for me and what would make me happiest, and it didn't. And I'd have people being like, that's not going to make you happy. And I was like, well,
like, what do you know?
Yeah. I know myself better than you know me, right? It's really an ego thing, when really, sometimes people know us better than we actually want to know ourselves.
Like, I can hang around you. Like, if we were to do this for the next 10 years, we're together all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell, you know me, I know you. Yeah. So I know when you're off, you know when I'm off.
Exactly. And oftentimes we don't admit to ourselves when we're off.
Right. You don't want to admit when you're wrong. You don't want to admit that this is the wrong way of going about things. How you've been doing it is the right way.
It's an ego thing.
And then back to what you said about, like, what did you say? Like, just people, you thinking that you're right in the moment, and then everybody's telling you this and that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. It's like, I was playing football for Bethel University, and I'm at TSU now, transferred. So I felt that I didn't love football anymore.
Yeah.
Which is 100% false. I don't know what I was feeling, honestly. But now that I look back on it, my brother said it. He's like, are you... And this is how you know people are like, they know you better than you. And I thought I knew, but I didn't. So my brother was like, and my dad said it, and my mom said it. Everybody said it. It's like, are you sure? And then I told everybody, a lot of people are like, oh, well, yeah, just leave Bethel, leave. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's a crap school, but dang, like, everybody's saying leave.
Yeah.
But then you got... Some of my family would be like, my family, they were like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Mm. Are you sure? It's like, is this in your heart to do this? I kept saying yes, but I really didn't, like, search deep down, and was like, do I really not love football, or do I hate the process that I'm going through to become the best player I can be? Do I hate the process, or do I hate playing the sport? Yeah. And I love it to death, and I want to play again. But now I put myself in a hole where I got to go walk on, do all these extra steps.
Yeah, for sure.
And now I'm just like, dang.
And everyone's path is different. Like, it's like, if someone has a passion for, let's say, fashion, right? They love fashion, right? They're studying, Jerry Lorenzo's Fear of God collection. They're studying, Kanye West's Yeezy collection, and they're really studying fashion itself. And they want to make it there, right? So they're studying and they're studying and they're studying. They may not enjoy sketching, right? They may not enjoy the process of sketching out the clothing and stuff, but they still love fashion, right? But they found out their passion is not in the sketching of clothes. Well, then they come to this angle. They're like, well, what about this? And so they try, the like marketing of fashion, right? They enjoy that, and they're finding they actually love, marketing and stuff like that, but still in the fashion realm. So it's like everyone, you may have like this burning desire for, like, fashion, for example. Like, you really want to work at Jordan, and you really love the shoes and stuff like that. Your talents and your gifts may not be in designing the shoe, but you're one heck of a marketer, right? You can sell that product like crazy. You're still working with your passion, but you're still in the area and the strength that suits you best. And that's what I've had to learn. It's like, okay, what really drives me? What do I want to be around? But also, what am I doing consistently without even, like, making myself do it? That for me, it's been writing music. Like, I come home, it's not even like I have to make myself right. It's like I want to. Like I just genuinely in the inside, I have to do it, like for my own sanity. And I'm like, okay, and I'm good at it. So it's like, okay, is this something? And I can sing really well. So it's like, is this something that I can, I have a burning passion for music, right? Is this something that I can use and stuff like that, and for performance to, I love music production and stuff, but it's not like my burning passion. My burning passion is the writing and the performing of the art. But it's finding your niche, and it's finding going with your grain, and working in that field based on what your gifts and talents are.
Right.
Because that's going to be the easiest way. So your passion, Steve Harvey talks about this. It's like your gift is what you do the easiest without even trying.
Without thinking.
Exactly. And so your passion, you may have a passion for Jordan, but you suck at drawing.
Right.
And so you can't draw a shoe to save your life, but you know what? You can market that shoe like no one's business.
Right.
And so you still have the hands-on product and distributing and stuff
and
like that.
And that goes back to the second chances. Is like you can do all those things. If you're doing what you love, you fail, you're going to go back and go back to the drawing board.
Exactly.
That's giving yourself infinite amount of chances to get to where you need to go.
Exactly.
That's how most successful people get. They've given themselves those chances. Yeah, they might fail at a certain venue, but now they go to a different one. They might fail there. Now you go back to the drawing board. You just don't give up.
Yeah.
That's back to what you said. Don't give up on yourself.
For sure. And I don't want to sound ignorant, but I think it was a quote by, it was either Aristotle or Plato. So audience, don't judge me if I get this wrong if you know this, because I don't have a laptop to check it out. But I remember it was like, one of them taught that they encouraged their students to fail because it was one door closed for you to know that failure was not the right option. So now you're one step closer to the right option.
Right.
And so in failing and stuff, as long as you're trying, you can be like, okay, this didn't work. Okay, I don't know. You're okay. Go back to the fashion example, right? So submit a bunch of like drawings and stuff, and they didn't like the design for it, right? Okay, well, back to the drawing board.
Right.
Well, and they didn't say, oh, I quit. They didn't like it. Or for me, it's songwriting, right? Write a ton of songs, have like 10, and you submit them to someone, they go trash. And you're like, oh, well, I guess I'm not a songwriter. No, back at it again. Drawing something, making something that works.
Just because someone doesn't like it or says you suck doesn't mean it's not
exactly,
good. It just means you're in the beginning stages and you haven't grown
exactly.
yet.
And
like
finding out what... No, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot.
You're good.
It's finding out like what works.
Right.
What actually works compared to what you think would work.
Right. It's like, while we're doing this, it's like, this is easy. Like, we haven't asked one question, and we've done this for 42 minutes. You know how easy this is?
Yeah.
Just to speak off top of you know how much information like we can talk about?
Yeah.
Just because it's exposed to us daily, like we can just talk about anything. Yeah. Now it's a matter of going back and being educated on what we're speaking about.
Exactly.
But then again, you got listeners who are like, okay, let's go do. It's forcing them to do some research. It's like, are you right or should we talk about this?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? This is like writing for you. Like this is not hard.
No.
It's not.
And it's
and then like football, like it's not hard.
No.
It's not.
And like I said, your gift is what you do without the least resistance. Right. So find your gifts and what you want to do and your passions, and you have a passion. Well, find out what your gifting is.
Right.
Have that passion, but go chase it in the way that your gift allows. Because so many people want to.
Their parents are the driving force of what they want to do.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You listen to your parents, but at the same time, best thing I've heard, you listen to what your parents tell you. You consider it. You don't act on everything. And I consider a majority of it.
Yeah.
I apply a little bit of it.
Yeah. Well, for me,
but they've lived a lot of life, so they know.
So for me, I've always found when I didn't, because I've over the years, I've really, because I'm a pretty... I would like to say self-experimental person. Like, I'll try it instead of listening.
Right. You do, and then if you failed, now you know.
Well, with my parents, it's been like, for me, as a process of my childhood, they tell me the stove's hot. I said, no, it's not. And I touch it. And so And so I'd burn myself, and so I'm learning, because I've burned myself a ton over these years, I'm learning that, maybe my parents have some valuable life.
Oh, they know a lot.
And so I'm applying
right.
a lot more than I used to.
Right.
I may be so freaking frustrated at them one day,
right.
but at the end of the day, they have my best interest at heart.
Absolutely.
And they have a lot more wisdom than I do. And
absolutely.
So I've learned to take 30% and apply. I'd say now I'm applying a good 70%.
Absolutely.
And I would love to get to don't blind. I've always my parents are always you can ask questions. You can ask us why, and we'll give you a reason.
Exactly. I talk to my dad all the time. My dad knows a lot, man. And I'll ask him about business, how to invest, where to invest, real estate, flipping houses. He can tell me stuff I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And he's 100% right, because everybody I listen to, he's saying the same thing. There's nothing new under the sun. Yeah. He's lived through it. He had a business. He had a successful business. He ran it for 20 plus years. So there's nothing new under the sun that he has. I haven't heard that he's told me directly, and I'm listening to him. I'm like, how do I get to that point? That's where I listen to him, because he's that's years of experience that I have to live through. It's he's 53, I'm 21. Why would I not listen to him? Mm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But at the same time, there's stuff out there I gotta go get that he hasn't done. So I have to go experience that for myself.
Yeah.
But while instilling the principles and the lessons that he's taught me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
where the application comes in.
I feel like parenting, and I'm speaking of a place of probably ignorance here, but I feel like parenting is laying down the fundamental principles that you will need to make, whether it's complex choices in your life, because complexity can be boiled down to simplicity, right? That's what I believe. Yep. And so I think parenting, you may my mom is not my aunt is not going to become, or my mom in the career path I want to go down. They know really, they know only about 10% of the business, right? But that other 80% they don't know.
Right.
But they've laid down the fundamental principles of life and of morality and of philosophical belief in
right.
my Christian faith.
Right.
And they've laid that down for me to where any choice I make, I have a solid foundation of where I'm gonna step, and how I should act, how I should make that choice, what I should base it on, who I should trust, and who really loves me. So they've laid down that fundamental belief system and that fundamental principles of morality. And now any choice I make in life, any direction I want to go, I have that solid foundation. Right. So I feel like parenting,
they built that 20%. Now it's for you to go act on the other 80%.
It's like building. Yeah, exactly. So it's like building. I would say it's the numbers who flip. They build that 80% so I could finish the 20%, right? Because if you think about, if you're building a building, you have to have a foundation.
Right.
And if your foundation's not strong, the building's going to collapse.
I like how you did that. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's 80-20. Yeah, 80-20. I like how you did that. Yeah.
You may see, I guess what you were saying is you may the foundation is not as big.
Small scale.
The foundation is not as necessarily size related to the building you put on
Absolutely.
top. But in importance,
in large scale, 80-20.
It's 80-20, yeah.
Because it'll go full circle. Because that's what I like how you said that.
Exactly. So I
like how you said that.
It's really the importance factor of what goes on top of the foundation is the 20. When the importance really is that 80% foundation wise, right? So it's you can also build whatever you want to on that foundation, right? You can just have a solid, flat foundation. You can build whatever the heck you wanted to on that. It doesn't matter. So it's parenting just lays down that foundation that you can build whatever you want to, but you have a solid foundation on it.
Yeah.
And so I feel wow, we've gotten off second chances, but I mean,
it still applies, because now that goes back to, without your foundation, second chances don't happen. Because if you keep building the same weak foundation, you keep building it on sand. You can try and
try.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
And that's where we get now back to our point about second chances. That's where we come into okay, I keep building this on sand. My house keeps falling, or I'm still addicted to drugs, or I still have an alcohol problem, or I still am struggling with this part of my life.
Yeah.
Now I'm just kind of dang. What do I got to do? You know what you got to do, because you've been it's been said to you for years. You just haven't applied it.
Exactly. It's all about application.
Yes. everything goes in one ear and out the other. It doesn't stay in. It doesn't.
And it really, like, looking back on my life, if I would have applied some things earlier and been like, okay,
where would you be?
Apply this, where would I be?
Right. That's that question. That's the question.
It's hard work to apply. It really is.
Absolutely. Because now that's where it's hard to apply, because now we're exposed to social media. We're like, man, I want this. I want to watch TV. I want to play video games. I want it now. It's I want to enjoy myself now. It's like, no, you got to struggle now.
Yeah. Yeah.
To live later.
Yep.
Oh, what is it? Pay now, play later.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Yeah. So it's like, a good analogy is like credit cards and cash, right?
Yep.
So the thing with credit cards is you play now and you pay later.
Yeah. You ball out now, you gonna sit the bench later.
But when you're paying with cash, and I've noticed this, it hurts a little bit more. It's like, oh, and you feel it a little bit more. So you're very much when you're paying with cash, you're a lot more frugal than you are with a card.
Yep.
And so when you know, but in the long run, you see people get in trouble with credit cards all the time.
Right.
They load up a bunch of money on a credit card, right? Because they're playing now and they're paying later.
Right.
And so in the now, you don't think about the later, because you're in the now, and everyone's like, live in the now.
Right.
Right? And
it's
you want to, like...
Enjoy your childhood, enjoy your 20s. It's like, yeah, you can enjoy it.
Enjoy it, yeah, but enjoy but also be careful.
Or enjoy being a kid. It's like, I can do that crap later. Like
with childhood, though, like, truly enjoy your childhood. But
absolutely.
there is a time where you're going to have to really think, and I think that's what our generation's kind of forgotten. It's kind of a lost thing, because, we're in such, I feel like, a financial boom in America, and economic, freedom, necessarily. Forget the huge amount of debt we have in America. Other than that, we have, because of our freedoms and the success America's had financially as a country, that's given our generation, we don't have to work necessarily as hard as
we are the most powerful generation.
We truly are.
You know why? Like you said, all the numerous amount of resources we have,
exactly,
we're using it. But now it's just the factor of what can we do next.
But there's more of an appeal to just take advantage of it. Right. And I've noticed myself as a teenager in this generation is just taking advantage of the plentiful just amount of, I can't even think of the word, the plentiful amount of abundance and opportunity. To shorten that up, abundance in opportunity here in America right now, and we take advantage of that as a generation, and we're like, oh, that means we don't have to work. We spend all our money on shoes, we spend all our money on clothes, we spend all our money on what we want now, and really, we are in a generation that could really make a difference, because of, we're not currently fighting to protect our country from an outside invader, right? Yeah, we have some things with other countries, but it's not like we're in war right now, right? And because we are not, we're not facing anything potentially that is going to be detrimental to society as a whole. You get what I'm saying? We have some things
it's
that
nothing
are going
like
on
the Civil War. It's nothing like the Afghan
that could
War.
actually threaten the life of American citizens and opportunity. So.
And for that, it's allowing opportunity for us to be successful as a country.
Exactly.
It's allowing plentiful of opportunity for people, a plethora of opportunity for people to go do as they please.
And we need to take that opportunity, right, and expound on that and exponentially grow on that. So, what if everyone in our generation, say one person, just followed their passion and did what they were supposed to do and, didn't take advantage of the system? Where would we be based on opportunity, technology? Because technology grows exponentially, meaning that once you take 2 steps, then you're going to take 4, then you're going to take 8. That's just how technology grows. I really feel like same with opportunity, right? So opportunity, we have these opportunities. Well, opportunity opens up more doors for more opportunities. So it's like we really need to take advantage of this, and instead of sitting on our laurels and watching it pass us by. And it goes back to second chances, giving yourself. You're gonna fall. When you're trying different opportunities, right? You're gonna fall, but you've got to get back up, right? And people, you're always gonna have criticism, but you're always gonna have, that's where the family goes back to. All of the family, or what you consider your family, is gonna have love for you, but they're also gonna keep you in line, right? And they're gonna give you chance after chance after chance, but also you have to look on the inside of yourself and be like, it's time to grow up. It's time to set aside these things. It's time to set aside these weights and these sins that have held me back and run my race, like Paul says. you know. There comes a time where it's like, I've got to give myself a chance now.
For sure.
Yeah. You got anything to add on that?
I had a thought. It's kind of just like, that was a lot.
Yeah.
But
I talk like a million miles an hour.
It's cool though. It's cool though. But I think the biggest thing, just to bring it back full circle to second chances, like, it may have seemed off topic, but it really is not, because you can still apply it, man. All we're saying is, application is key to second chances. Everything we do in life, it's all about second chances for ourselves and giving it to ourselves. That way we can become who we need to become. That's just my whole synopsis of what we've just talked about for however long we've been talking.
Yeah.
But it's a bad lesson, man. If you apply it, that's on me, it's on you, and it's on all the listeners. It's like
self-application.
We have to apply.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power.
Oh, I like that.
You can know everything all day, but if you don't know how to apply it, what good does it do?
Exactly.
You could be the smartest kid in the room. If you don't have good communication skills and you're shy, you're going to lose. Because you're not marketing yourself. You're not putting yourself out there. If no one knows you, you're just a smart dude that everyone else doesn't really know.
Yep.
So it's just kind of like, you be out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And then it takes second chances to get to that point, to where you're being yourself. You're outspoken. You're extroverted. But you're also introverted.
Yeah.
Like, you know when not to turn it off. So it's just kind of like knowing those things and applying, like we've been saying. So it's a process, man. And we all go through it.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, are you willing to apply? That separates the winners from the losers. That separates the successful from the non-successful. Applied knowledge.
Based on just head knowledge. Yep.
Exactly. So I think that's all I got, man.
I think we're good, man.
Yeah.
Second chances. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys next time.
Comment what you like, what you didn't like. Give us your feedback.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you for tuning in.
Crossroads Podcast, baby.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.